Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Hugo Quintanilla here with another live. Today, we're going to be doing the week in review, the top 10 real estate related news stories of the week. And we're going to be talking about some of the stories that are going to be impacting the industry and how they impact the industry. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Hugo Quintanilla, your neighborhood realtor. As always, grateful that you all are tuning in. Thank you again to everyone that's on the live chat on Instagram, to everyone that is over on YouTube, on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and Twitch.com. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. As always, this is your space every day to learn a little bit more about real estate and how it can impact you and those around you. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 10 real estate related news stories that might impact the industry. A few stories that I think that are worth taking a little bit more time on. So again, if you have any stories that you would like to share, please feel free and let me know. Any comments, questions, concerns, as always. I did get some comments about opportunities in the African American community earlier in the week. So I caught those on Twitch. We will be able to talk that about that maybe a little bit later on in the month. I didn't have anything really prepared for Black History Month, but it's a really good question to look into. More than anything else, I think the biggest opportunity in minority culture, African American culture, is going to be education. That's the biggest thing that I think one of our days together talked about, that how African American women were the largest segment of breadwinners in the African American community. So we're seeing a rise of women in the community. And they are actually, kind of controlling everything when it comes to finances, yet at the cost of their own independence. Sometimes these women are not able to branch out on their own or start their own lives till much later on in their lives, or sometimes they fall victim to fraud or scam or some misgivings of someone that takes advantage of their good nature. So there are all types of stories, but more than anything else, the reports that I've seen this year have indicated that there is a growth in the community and lots of opportunities to take advantage of programs that, while they're available, are great. It's just we need more people saving money and really getting financially educated, because it's not just about buying the house, it's about being able to be responsible enough to maintain the house. And we can talk about that another day as well. But for today, let's check out what we got. So number one, mortgage rate decline, positive sign for buyers, question mark. Mortgage rate decline, positive sign for buyers by Market Watch. This was on February 28th, 2024. A potential silver lining emerged from prospective home buyers with a decline in mortgage rates for the third consecutive week. This could entice buyers who were previously discouraged by rising interest rates, potentially leading to increased buyer activity and impacting market demand. More than anything else, we really need those rates to come down so that we can get more buyers into the market. Yes, it's going to cause more competition, but such is life. And if that's what it takes for home sellers to feel confident in selling their home, then that's what it's going to have to take, is just having that bed of buyers waiting to bid up those properties. It's the unfortunate nature of the situation. Really, otherwise, we would have to have a huge exodus of some sort, which, God forbid happens. So, number two, existing home sale surprise, market shift or seasonal fluctuation. Existing home sales surprise, market shift or seasonal fluctuation by the National Association of Realtors was published on February 22nd, 2024. A surprising rise in existing home sales in January sparked questions about potentially turning point in the market. However, experts urge caution against drawing definitive conclusions. Analyzing seasonal trends and data from the coming months will be crucial in determining if this is a sustainable shift or simply a temporary fluctuation. So we're starting to see a little bit of change in the market. We don't know if it's because of the storms that we had. We don't know if it's because of other factors, but we're seeing it. We're in an election year, so that's something else as well. Also seeing a rise of people moving because of political views this time around. So it's very interesting to see the developments that we're going to have in the coming spring, because meteorological spring, I think, just started. So, yeah, something to look into and keep an eye on, especially if you're an investor. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Number three, home price growth slowing down but not stopping. Home price growth slowing down but not stopping, by Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, February 27th, 2024. While home prices continue to rise, the pace of appreciation has started to moderate, as reported in this article. This suggests a potential cooling off in the market, which could bring some relief to affordability concerns, especially for first time home buyers. This is what a lot of markets are replicating, and we are taking note. But is this a seasonal change? Is this more going back to how we were, or is this a temporary fluctuation? Again, talking about the previous article we had with NAR. Number four, inventory shortage, a persistent challenge. Inventory woes persist, keeping upward pressure on prices, by National Association of Home Builders, March 1st, 2024. The ongoing lack of available homes for sale remains a significant factor influencing the market, as highlighted in this article. With limited inventory, buyers often face fierce competition for properties, driving up prices and making it challenging to find suitable homes within budget. Sorry. Inventory. We've said it time and time again. I think I've said it already 3 times this one live. Inventory is consistently the problem. We are not having enough new home starts for what we need. I should rephrase that. We're not having new affordable home starts in the numbers that we need. We are having new home starts, and that's a rise, and that's positive. But these are for homes that, are very well priced. Let's leave it like that. Number five, new construction offers long-term hope. New construction, a glimmer of hope for the future, by U.S. Census Bureau, February 24th, 2024. Early signs of recovery in the new home construction sector offer a potential long-term solution to addressing the inventory shortage. However, it's important to remember that it takes time for new constructions to translate into a significant increase in available homes. And this is true. So the theory is that these new constructions will be bought up by people that can afford them from other constructions. Sometimes, what we're seeing is them selling the older home and then buying into a new construction. Fine and good. But we've seen a rise in the amount of first time home buyers, almost a 43% rise of first time home buyers that are in the new construction market. So they're not looking at anything else but new construction. It's very interesting. They're saving longer. They're willing to wait. If they're going to pay the money, they want something that's going to be nice and new. So it's going to be interesting to see how the trickle down effect and theory behind the new constructions will go, because really, more than anything else, the other thought is that that first time home buyer will then go into the new construction and leave that older used construction, or already lived in construction, I should say, to a more at a more affordable price point for someone that needs it or has it, so that we have these different tiers and levels and strata of inventory. But what a lot of us have heard is that we've had a lot of investors come in and scoop up those homes before the first time home buyers can, and that's kind of what we had right now. We had lots of very free money, so to speak, with interest rates being so low in the market when we were in lockdown. And now that faucet has kind of turned off with the higher rates, we are just waiting for the inventory. And it's going to take time for those new constructions to trickle down into sales, especially after they're made. So we're looking at anywhere from 6 to 9 months just for that stuff to get on the market, let alone be sold and let alone be registered into the data. Number six, first time home buyers face headwinds. First time home buyers caught in a difficult market by Mortgage Bankers Association, February 23rd, 2024. The combination of low inventory and rising costs continued to pose significant challenges for first time home buyers, as reported in the First Time Home Buyers Caught in a Difficult Market article. Many struggle to compete and secure their first homes, potentially impacting overall market demand in the future if this segment remains constrained. Really, if the first time home buyers are the ones that are struggling, the whole market is not balanced in a way that is conducive to where we need the homes. To some degree, the properties that then go back on the market as rentals, you know, they do give housing, but we go under the rental market. So what we want is everyone to own a home. That's ideally the truth of the matter. But as we all know, not everyone can afford a home or afford the homes that are on the market. So competing with a more larger investors, with greater portfolios is really what the name of the game has turned into. Getting your foot into the door is a little bit more difficult, though not impossible. The important thing is just making sure that you're prepared to start. And then from there, budgeting and keeping up with, your mortgages, and then moving up, building wealth through real estate, not just buying and holding forever, actively building through real estate, I think is probably one of the best strategies to make sure that you're always ending up ahead. Number seven, rising rent concerns. Well, rising rents exacerbate affordability concerns. Rising rents adding fuel to affordability fire by Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University, February 29, 2024. The continued increase in rental prices puts further strain on renters' budgets, exacerbating affordability concerns across the housing market. As reported in Rising Rents Adding Fuel to the Affordability Fire, this trend could incentivize some renters to consider buying a home if they can find affordable options within their financial reach, potentially influencing both the rental and sales market. So, rising rents is really pushing a lot of people to go and do this and get out there and buy a home. But the homes that we have in the market, what are they? One of the largest stories that I saw this week was of someone picking up an assumable mortgage, and they were ecstatic because their payment went from couple of thousand, I think, to like about under $1,000 just because of the change of rate. And what an assumable mortgage is, for those that don't know, is that basically you can literally assume the mortgage of a previous owner. It usually happens with VA and certain types of FHA, but the new person, if they qualify, can hold on to the rate that the previous owner had. It's in an attempt to try to sell the property in case they need to move or sell the property fast, or station somewhere else. It's a great way to incentivize a prompt sale. So that, is really kind of what we're seeing now, assumable mortgages and these things that to try to help affordability. We're seeing concessions as well. We're seeing maybe properties that are going for at value or maybe a little bit above, but there's a home inspection. There's some contingencies involved now. There's a little bit more of negotiation, whereas there wasn't so much that, say, 2-3 years ago. More than anything else, and I'll really leave it at that, is think about the numbers, consider the budget that you have, and work on it. Because at the end of the day, I know it's going to be expensive either way, to lease or to buy, but if you buy, it's yours, and it's like a poker chip. You can use it and build with it and grow the pot and make it longer and make your stability more just predictable. More than anything else, that's what I think is peace of mind, is in owning a home is really having that stability and knowing that. But we want to do it right, and I've always said that we want to do it where you can afford it and not being forced to do it because of rising rents. But sometimes options are little and few and far between. So finding options for this is kind of where realtors and builders all have to work together to try to figure out where we can find homes for these people. Number 8, prop tech, revolutionizing the industry. Prop tech, innovating on the horizon, by CB Insights, March 2nd, 2024. The sustained investments in prop tech or property technology has the potential to disrupt and reshape the real estate industry in various ways. As detailed in the article, prop tech innovations on the horizon, these advancements could impact everything from property search and transactions to property management and investment strategies, potentially making the market more efficient and accessible for various participants. I myself have joined some of these conversations that Prop Tech has had with NAR, those sponsored events, and there are some amazing things on the horizon. They did some when AI was first coming out, and we had an amazing discussion about that. We also talked about the Vision Pro and how it can be used in real estate and how it's already being used in construction and manufacturing. Real time live tours and just building in a warehouse, in a hangar somewhere, your next home. It's so amazing and so fascinating to see just a new stage in the new era of real estate. So I'm very excited to introduce a lot of you to it and to bring the world of real estate into the new kind of era that we're going to be seeing. Um, and if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. But there's going to be tons of things to look at and tons of things to experiment and see, and the innovations that this has brought us. But more than anything else, be observant, be vigilant, and be careful, because we're not talking about a cheeseburger. We're not talking about 20 cents. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, and people lose money every day. We just had our cybersecurity expert come into our office this past week to talk about cybersecurity. So more than anything else, it's becoming dangerous to be on the internet. So be careful, protect yourself, protect your peace, and protect your passwords, and protect your IPs. Be very careful. Um, Number 9, climate change reshaping the landscape. Climate concerns reshaping the landscape by Urban Land Institute. This was February 24th, 2024. Climate change is increasingly becoming a factor that homebuyers consider when making decisions, as reported in Climate Concerns Reshaping the Landscape. Rising sea levels, flood risks, and potential wildfires are prompting individuals to prioritize locations with lower climate risks, potentially impacting demand in certain areas and influencing developing patterns in the long run. We're also starting to see displacement in a lot of people. We're starting to see people run away from certain areas. We're starting to see these crazy fires, these crazy storms, and tornadoes and hurricanes, and it's really been quite a wild year, especially as we've seen climates change and vary so much. I think just this last week we had a 20-degree difference between our 2 days, our 48-day difference. So it's insane. But at the end of the day, we will adapt, we will persevere, and we got to get this under control. We really, as a collective, have to work towards mitigating our waste and our use of this planet, because we live with it, truth be told. Number 10, material cost hikes. Again, talking about materials, what we have available. Material cost hikes, a double-edged sword. Material cost hike, a double-edged sword by the National Association of Home Builders. This was March 1st, 2024. The increase in the cost of building materials presents a complex challenge for the new construction sector. While it may incentivize builders to raise home prices to offset their costs, it could also dampen new construction activity, further hindering efforts to address the inventory shortage. This situation creates a double-edged sword for the market, potentially impacting both affordability and supply. And that's really what it comes down to. The wood that it takes to make the hardwood floor, that takes to make the walls, takes to make the beams. It all got to come from a tree somewhere. It's got to grow. It's got to be planted. It's got to be in 20 years ago. It's got to take time. and the materials are becoming more scarce. Not to scare anyone, but really, that's kind of the give and take. You it becomes a little bit more difficult to harvest trees when all the trees in the area have already been harvested. So that's really what we're coming across now. We just have overpopulation in certain areas and then underpopulation in other areas, which of course is explainable because not everywhere is hospitable. So there is only a finite amount of land that everyone can enjoy, or anyone can enjoy for that matter. I'm not going to send you out to go buy a piece of land over in a volcano now, am I? But at any rate, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this list. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list of the real estate stories of the week, but these are some that just caught my eye during the week that I checked out. If you just joined us late in the stream, today's stories were: number one, mortgage rate decline, positive signs for buyers from Market Watch on February 28th. Number two, existing home sales surprise, a market shift or seasonal fluctuation by the National Association of Realtors on February 22nd. Um, the home price growth slowed down, but not stopping. Number three, by Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, February 27th, 2024. Number four, inventory shortage. Oh, I'm sorry. Inventory woes persist, keeping upward pressure on prices by National Association of Home Builders. That was March 1st, 2024. Number five, new construction, a glimmer of hope for the future by the U.S. Census Bureau. That was February 24th. Number six, the first time home buyers caught in a difficult market by Mortgage Bankers Association, February 23rd. That was number six. Number seven, rising rents adding fuel to the affordability fire, the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University. That was February 29th. Great article over there. Number eight, prop tech innovating on the horizon by CB Insights on March 2nd. Climate concerns reshaping the landscape by the Urban Land Institute on February 24th. And last but not least, material cost hikes, a double-edged sword by the National Association of Home Builders on March 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate you all tuning into this live, because it's the weekly live that we kind of have together that's always been a little bit different than all the other lives, because I can talk to you every single day about buying or selling a home or leasing or investing. But the news stories that are outside of the normal everyday when it comes to real estate are a little bit harder to find. That's why they're a little slower. It takes a little bit more time. There are some scandalous stories. There are some like celebrity stories and like some little gossip stories and stuff like that too. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to make money. I want you guys to invest in the right areas. I want you guys not to waste time on these lives if it doesn't benefit you. And I want you to really go out there more knowledgeable and well informed. So if you have any questions, need further clarification on anything that I said today, feel free and let me know. My phone number is 240-389-4846. My email is hugo@lnf.com. And my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. Why? Because I am your realtor, Hugo. Com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow for another live. And have a great night. Take care. Get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.